So for example, I could do something like this. What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video, man. Shout out Notification Squad. Hope you're doing well and having a great day. In today's video, we are going to be looking at vocal sends. We're going to be looking at each type of vocal send, really going in depth on that. I'm going to spend the whole video just on that, so that you can get a better understanding of how to utilize them, as well as just to kind of figure out what they actually are and what they're about and how they can benefit your music, most importantly. So, definitely check out the link in the description for this FLP, as well as just find the full video. I'll try and remember to put the full video link in the description if you want to learn how to mix the main vocals, for example, like over here. Won't really be focusing on that in today's video. We're going to be focusing around here. But for now, I'm going to play the track, and then after that, I will then mute all of the sends, or the vocal sends, so that you can hear the difference between them. But yeah, man, don't forget to smash like. Let's get it.
Let my gun bust a nut, then leave. Yeah, I ain't leave a clue on the scene. Close range, so I got blood on my jeans.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans. I need the cash, boy, I need the cream. I swear that pussy, I know that they ain't. She watching me and she say I'm a favorite. Jump man, jump man, jump man. All I do is trap man. Rip it with my left hand. In the cut and I'm smoking on headband. Rockstar, but you think I'm Juice WRLD. Tramp star, but you think I'm fade out. Got fucked up that they all gone, yeah. But it's cool cause they living in my songs, yeah. I'm just smoking green. I like her, she cook it clean. If the ops gon' pull up, she got 40s in her magazine.
Alrighty, so there you go. You get an idea. Really cool, right? So I'm gonna play the track quickly without the vocal sends, just so you can get an idea of what's going on.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans. I need the cash, boy, I need the cream. I swear that pussy, I know that they ain't. She watching me and she say I'm a favorite. Jump man, jump man, jump man. All I do is trap man. Rip it with my left hand. In the cut and I'm smoking on headband. Rockstar, but you think I'm Juice WRLD. Tramp star, but you think I'm fade out. Got fucked up that they all gone, yeah. But it's cool cause they living in my songs, yeah. I'm just smoking green. I like her, she cook it clean. If the ops gon' pull up, she got 40s in her magazine.
So as you can hear right there, in this track right here, the effects are adding more of, they're kind of complementing the main vocals, right? They're kind of responding to everything that is happening. That's the way I like to look at vocal sends. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just kind of look at how we actually set them up, so you can set them up for yourself, and then we'll run through each one left to right, so you can really get an idea. So first things first, man, you want to essentially send the track that is most important to you. So in my track, it's going to be the main vocal, right? So the main vocal runs into the vocal chain. So we've got all the main vocals over here.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans.
I need the cream.
Right, we've got our main vocal, which I feel is the most important element in our track. We are doing sends with the other stuff as well, but main vocal is really going to get most of the effects because it's pretty much the highlight of the track. So as you can see, we have a vocal chain. We then send that obviously to our main vocal bus, but we can also send it to all of these effects sends. So what we do is we send a little bit to our reverb, a little bit to our delay, automate the delays as well. We'll talk about that. Send it to a flanger, send it to a parallel compressor, etc., etc. Right? So pretty easy to set up. It's essentially just a duplicated track of the main vocal, but this time with an effect on it to basically create a effect, right? So there you go. So yeah, man, let's kind of get into it. So the first thing we have right here, by the way, I also like to bus all of my effects. That way I was actually able to, A/B between all of the effects. That way we can also listen to all of the effects. So for example, if I did, I think everything, yeah. So if I was just to actually mute this, so.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans.
So you're essentially only listening to the effects right there.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans.
But anyway, so yeah, man, the way I bus everything is just to send everything to there. Obviously, this I don't think I used in this track, so it doesn't really matter. Let's actually just, we'll just keep it there for now. But yeah, everything is essentially sent. Everything that needs to be sent is going to be sent to the all effects. The psychoacoustic, for some reason I chose not to, but that doesn't matter. For the most part, everything is going to be sent to a group. So that's kind of how to pop up on a console, you know what I mean? You'd have your kind of vocals, you'd have your backgrounds, and then you might have your all effects tracks, you know what I mean? So something like that. But yeah, let's get into it. So first thing I like to always set up, and I generally like to record with this effect on, is going to be my reverb. Okay, reverb is what creates that really nice spacious effect on the vocal. If I was actually able to solo just the reverb on the main vocal, so let us so we've turned that off. We'll turn all of these off. Okay, everything is off on the other side. So as you can see right there, reverb, important, okay? The reverb basically creates a nice tail. It basically creates a sense of depth when it comes to the main vocal. Without it, the vocal is quite dry. So let's listen with the vocal.
Close range, so I got blood on my jeans. I need the cash, boy, I need the cream. I swear that pussy, I know that they ain't.
I've got a little bit of delay on there, but don't worry about that. So as you can see, it just creates a nice sense of depth. Pretty simple. Don't overthink reverb. You want the vocal, especially with rap that is fast or kind of mainstream rap that is not euphoric or atmospheric, like for example The Weeknd. If you're doing rap like this, which is kind of dry and up front but still wide, you don't want to go for too crazy of a reverb because it is going to become overpowering. So your reverbs you really want to tuck in the back of the mix. As you can see, I don't generally go over around 30%. So let's see what I've done. 24%, right? It's within my kind of theory of just sticking the send amount to 24% and then to allow myself to ride the fader, right? To really determine how loud I want it with the fader. I can also do a bit of input drive over here, just to get that sound. But for the most part, the reverb is not that loud, right?
Close range, so
kind of hovering around minus 24. So simple and sweet, you get the idea. After that, man, we've got something even cooler. Which will be our delays. Okay, now delays, there are a few ways to go about setting up your delays. Now there are some terminologies that we can use to describe our different types of delays. We've got what we call delay swing, or our delay swings, which basically means that or delay throws actually is a better word to use, which basically means that we have set up an automation clip so that the delays come into play on certain parts of the track. So as you can see right here, I actually physically recorded myself adjusting the delays, and then this was the result. I'll do a full video on that if you guys and girls want to see that. Let me just find it again. But there you go, and this was the result. And as you can see on certain parts, right, I'll just hover over here.
The cash, boy, I need the cream. I swear that pussy, I know that they ain't. She watching me and she say I'm a favorite. Jump man, jump man, jump man. All I do is trap man. Whip it with my
As you can see right there, we've got a delay throw is what we call it. It's essentially us setting up a delay and then manually having the vocal send to the delay, and then the result is that we actually get this cool thing going on. That's the first way to use a delay. The second way to do it is to have a continuous delay going throughout. Now this is a trick that Seth Firkins would apply on Futures records. If you still listen to Futures records to this day, rest in peace Seth Firkins, you'll actually still hear a really minimal amount of delay going on in the background, and that's really what I have over here. So you can slap a delay on the main vocal itself, but generally don't go over like 5%, because otherwise it's going to become way too aggressive and kind of overpower the main vocal. So that's another trick you can apply, but for the most part I like to have delay sends set up as delay throws or delay automation or automated delays, whatever you want to call it, same thing. So the way I set up my delays in this instance is I have a quarter note delay and an eighth note delay. So each one kind of has a different vibe to it, okay? So if I was to just, let's listen to just the delays. So just, you know what I mean, family friendly. Okay, so you can hear that, you can hear the quarter note delay, but we can also have an eighth note delay, and you'll see the eighth note delay right here, which is going to be a lot faster. As you can see, it's just different timings, but it's basically the same thing, right? So we've got two delays. One is set to quarter note, one is set to eighth note. Those are the differences. And you know what, the reason I want to have two in this instance, it won't be always, but the reason why I did that is because I wanted one to sound more distorted than the other. I wanted one to sound further back, and then I wanted one to sound kind of more upfront and be the kind of main delay, right? So a quarter note delay has a bit of distortion on it, has a bunch of cool stuff going on really, and then it has our quarter note delay on it. We also have a reverb on it to really just help it blend in the track. You know, you will learn over time that just a bland delay doesn't really sound that fun. You want to kind of analog it more. You can start to add stuff on, try anything really. There are no rules to this, but you get the idea, right? Is I want to have a little bit of delay going on. What I could also do is have a little bit of delay running all the time. So for example, I could do something like this. So you get the idea, right? We could have a little bit of delay running all the time, but in this instance, we have our delay on the vocal itself. So cool, delay's out the way. After that, man, what we have is our flanger, okay? So flanging the vocal is an old school trick which basically just widens the vocal. Essentially, you would do that with an H3000, but you could also do it just with a plugin. My favorite to do it with, if I'm not using stock plugins, is definitely the Eventide Instant Flanger. You could also use the Eventide H3000. You could also use just a fruity flangers, mix it up with the phaser, mix it up with the distortion, and just do crazy things to really get a cool sound. You know, since we do have two chains set up, this is my normal chain, but I decided just to use this one on its own. I'll play this one, and then I will play the other one. You can hear the differences, right? So let us just, I don't think, are we using this one this time around? I don't think so. Okay, it seems like we're using this one this time around, so we'll skip the other flanger, but you get the idea, right? Theory stays the same. It's just going to be a flanger send that's going to make the vocal wider. This is really simple, right? It's just basically a flanger straight up, right? You can test out many different plugins to get a cool result, but basically it's going to sound like this, right? So let's just go back to the main vocal.
Jump man, all I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut, I'm smoking on headband.
And as you can hear right there, it's just this kind of cool jet flanger thing going on behind the vocal. If I was to play it with the vocal itself, just so you can hear.
Jump man, all I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut, I'm smoking on headband.
You know what I mean? When I have it in the background like we have it now.
Jump man, all I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut.
Kind of get this really nice kind of division, you know, in the lower mids of the vocal, and that's just wonderful. Definitely helps spread the vocal within the beat, definitely helps you blend the vocal in. What you could also do is manipulate the EQ of it. So for example, if I felt it was too trebly, obviously in the context of the song it sounds good, but if I wanted to manipulate it, I could add an EQ.
Jump man, all I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut.
So that's another way to EQ your vocals without actually EQing them, is to just basically manipulate the background sends and, you know what I mean, boost a bit of bass over there or whatever, you know what I mean. But as you can see, I've just added an S1 to make it even wider, and you can add a variety of different sends, but you know, I mean, different effects, and you'll get a cool result. So, you know, those kind of cover the basic effects you can use on a vocal. Really, it's always going to be reverb, delay, and then flanger. Those are kind of main vocal send effects that we can utilize to get amazing main vocals or just background vocals. So after that, man, we're really going to get into our dry effects. Now, our dry effects are more so things like parallel compression. We definitely want to add a bit of parallel compression. A big trick in the old school kind of, I don't know, the tool set of different mixing techniques that you can use as EQ and compressor, but I just like to just compress the main vocal. Sometimes I'll actually compress twice. So as you can see, we've got our send set up, and if we were to just play these two effects at the same time, right, on one end we've just got a compressor. Generally you want to add quite a bit of compression if you kind of just want to hear about the theory behind it, and as you can see, I'm using an infinity to 1. Basically it's just gonna always compress. It's going to compress a lot basically. And then on the other one, I'm just using an MV2, and I love using an MV2 because it just pulls out all of the kind of softer parts of each word. So it really helps me kind of create a solidified vocal sound. So you get the idea, right? Parallel compression is just going to give you more girth and more kind of sturdiness surrounding the vocal, especially in the lower mids. You know what I mean? You don't really want to nip out too much of the lower mids in the vocal. Sometimes you would want to do that and maybe even boost the treble if you do feel your vocals too dark, but you can't actually EQ the vocal anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So let's just play this right here. Let me just make sure it's muted.
Jump man. All I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut, I'm smoking on headband. Rockstar, bitch, you think I'm Juice WRLD. Crapstar, bitch, you think I'm Farai. Got me fucked up that they all gone, yeah. But it's cool cause they live in the.
So as you can see right there, just a really kind of grungy version of our main vocal, but when we blend it in the back of the track, it just helps us really get a more solidified sound. So this is the MV2 boosted.
Jump man, all I do is trap man.
And it just kind of sounds stressed. That's really all it is, but once you blend it in the back of the track, it's amazing. So
jump man, all I do is trap man. Grip it with my left hand, corner the cut, I'm smoking.
You know what I mean? It's almost like it does something that EQ or you know what I mean, just yeah, that EQ couldn't do. You know what I mean? It kind of creates a new tone, and then you can really add that to your main vocals. So that's pretty cool. As a bonus, we do have analog effects that we can also utilize. These obviously follow the same procedure as these, and if I was to mute them, to solo them, actually my bad, I just messed that up. Let's do this real quick. So main vocal.
Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman.
Do I have any this time? Yes, we do actually have a few effects. So these are effects that I have printed out, and I think I only use the good old classic 231 preset, which is essentially a micro pitch shift, which is kind of like a chorusy flanger thing. It's a delay and a chorus in one, and you know what it sounds like is this.
Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman. All I do is trap, man. Rip it with my left hand. Corn in the cut and smoking our headband. Rockstar, bitch, think of Juice WRLD.
So pretty cool, right? It kind of just sits right below the vocal. It's exactly the same as the send right here. Sometimes it's nice to use 2, 3 flangers to really just get that kind of point across that you want your vocal wider.
Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman. All I do is trap, man. Rip it with my left hand. Corn in the cut and smoking our headband. Rockstar, bitch, think of Juice WRLD.
But you can hear once we have those 2 in, we kind of get this really nice movement going on behind the vocals. So really cool, right? We also have this psychoacoustic thing. I don't know what it is. It's a preset I made a long time ago, and I was like, man, I remember using this on one of the punk rap tutorials, and I really liked it. And really all it is a amplification of the side channel. I know this is a bit more in depth, but really it's an amplification of the side channel of the main vocal, I think, of all the vocals, and all it really does is just boost the stereo information in the vocals. So
Jumpman, Jumpman, Jumpman. All I do is trap, man. Rip it with my left hand. Corn in the cut and smoking our headband. Rockstar, bitch, think of Juice WRLD.
So that's pretty cool, right? It's just some weird science stuff going on, but hopefully you get the idea, man, or get the point that using sends, is really just to help emphasize stuff and just help kind of clean stuff up without actually touching the actual source itself. So once you're happy with your mix, you can then begin creating sends. You can also have sends set up while recording so that you can really get into the vibe. I wouldn't be able to record if I didn't have a little bit of reverb and a little bit of delay. I'm generally recording with minimal EQ, maybe no EQ. I might just do like a high pass or something like that while recording, just so I don't hear the overly bassy parts of the vocal. But I'm always going to be recording with a bit of delay, always going to be recording with a bit of reverb, and that's really going to help me kind of source up my tracks. So hopefully you learned something, man. You know what I mean? Definitely check out the links in the description for my vocal recording course, vocal mixing course, as well as vocal enhancer, if you wish to see me set these things up from scratch, as well as also apply them while recording someone in the vocal recording course. Definitely check the link below for this FLP, as well as a link to the full video. Hope you have a great week. Keep mixing every day, and it'll get easier. I'll check you out next time. Peace out.